Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm Gabriela Cubeiro. I'm the co-founder and CEO of CASEpeer. We're the highest rated case management software for personal injury law firms. I'm really excited to be here with you guys today to run through CASEpeer's top 5 automation features designed to save law firms time and, of course, money. One of my favorite things about building technology for plaintiff injury attorneys is that most of them get excited about efficiency. It means less busy work, lower case costs, and more time to spend with clients or developing the client's cases. So take a moment as you are here to find the comments and questions tabs off to the right. Feel free to drop questions in there. And I look forward to seeing any activity in there as you guys get started. All right. So, a little bit about CasePeer, first of all. So, we founded CasePeer with a vision that every personal injury law firm can maximize its human potential. And what do we mean by that? Well, it means that your team can work the most and get the most out of a day that it can. And it also means that every injured client can receive exceptional care and the best possible results. And when it comes to results, CasePeer is the only software that's designed to drive better results for your clients and better results for you. And you'll see some of that today as we go through. So, really quick, our top 5 automation features, 5 of many: automated task workflows, client intake forms, template documents or document generation, litigation event plans, and our Zapier integration. And feel free to drop in the comments which one you're most excited to learn more about today. And we're jumping right in. So, automated task workflows. So in CasePeer, we have of course automated tasks. So what does that mean? You can streamline processes from intake to settlement as a case transitions from different case statuses. So if you change a case, for example, from intake to trading, it will trigger any number of tasks, different due dates, different dates that they actually show up, different people assigned to them depending on the case and who's working that case, which team it's with, all off of that one trigger action of that case status changed. As I mentioned here, you can assign by user role, which is really cool. So, because CasePeer is specific to personal injury law, as you look at your cases, you'll have case assistants, you'll have case managers, lead attorneys, supervising attorneys, and you can generate different tasks for different people, all automated with our task workflows called Case Plan. The deadlines calculate from key dates, either before or after. So, for example, you could trigger something off of an upcoming statute date or a reminder a week before a client's birthday, so you can send them a handwritten card. You can also set priority on those automated tasks. So, for example, setting something as urgent so it jumps when it's created and visible to the top of the assigned person's list. And of course, which is very important, you want to be able to easily track the status and the task completion. And that's something that you can do in CasePeer from the task management screen. So then the question is, why automate tasks? It takes time to build out workflows. Is it worth the time? And of course it is, right? It helps you deliver a consistent experience for the client. So whether they're assigned to case manager Judy or case manager John, they're going to have the same experience with your firm, which helps you build an excellent reputation. It also means that less things slip through the cracks, right? So, it, personal injury law, especially on the pre litigation side, you have a lot of non attorneys managing key components of the case. And that's really also where task workflows help to establish accountability and create steps that every case needs to jump through. And that's where it's easier to train new employees. And I'll tell you this, automation, this is going to come up a couple times today. It's essential for scaling and growing your business. So you can't have every time you hire a new person, your more experienced people taking too much time out of their day manually assigning different tasks, right? That is something that right now, case managers, if you don't have an automated task system, and you hire somebody new, you might be spending hours assigning them tasks on cases as they come up or as you anticipate them or as new cases are added to your workload. And that takes a lot of time out of your day. Whereas if you automate those on the front end, it'll make life a lot easier and a lot smoother. Number two, client intake forms. This I love, and it definitely saves a lot of time. So, client intake forms in CASEpeer help you collect new client information quickly and efficiently. So we can see here we've got the ability to text or email the form to your leads or clients. So they don't even have to be a retained client in here. Maybe it's someone that you're just collecting more contact and accident information about the case. You can generate that intake form and send them a text with a link that allows them to fill it out on their mobile phone. You get notifications as they're completed, and the thing that's really cool in CasePeer is you're allowed to actually review that information, potentially go in there and make sure that you capitalize a name or their street address and before you save it to their case. Sometimes we get questions about, is that going to wipe out old data that maybe is more accurate that we collected on an intake call? It does replace the information in the system, but it captures it all in the history of the case. So you can always go back and see what's in there. The big win here is saving time on data entry. We estimate it saves about an hour for every new case that your team onboards. And so let's go in here and see. So why texting intake forms? We can email them, or maybe right now you're sending them by paper, or you're sending them by your snail mailing, or people are coming into your office and filling it out in person. Although there's less of that happening these days with COVID, I still hear that that is something that comes up with firms. So 90% of text messages are read in the first 3 minutes of being received. That stat is just mind blowing to me. At least for me, it's probably even less. I think for a lot of people, it is. Even if I don't reply right away, I do read that text. And the average response time for a text is about 90 seconds. So the reason you want to text that intake form is clients will see that message. It also makes you a tech-forward law firm that can support their clients remotely and make things easier for them, even in cases where they don't have a computer or an email address. Clients appreciate convenience and it saves you time. As I said, we're estimating it saves your law firm about an hour on every single new case. All right. Number three, template documents. So, template documents, which is another word or one of the ways to describe template generation, document generation, letter generation, allows you to eliminate a tremendous amount of busy work. It helps you generate letters, envelopes, demands, captions, and so much more with just a single click. And it allows you to easily update and maintain your template database. If you don't have this integrated into a case or practice management system that you're using now, chances are you might have a bunch of documents sitting on your file server. Maybe someone goes in there and accidentally removes a sentence or overwrites your template with something related to their specific case and doesn't tell anyone. And now you're sending out other letters with information that doesn't relate. It This way, you've got a clean template library that you can update anytime. There's no coding required. It's something that you build out in Word. It's very straightforward. And of course, we've got all kinds of training and support. And one thing I do want to give a shout out to our amazing onboarding team is that they build out their first 10 templates. We had a great question come up about texting here, and jumping back to those intake templates, whether you're even texting a document or communicating with your clients via the client portal and sharing documents there. Certainly, you can go in and put in. If you're texting something, text in any language. We do have certain automated texts, like welcoming a client on board when you invite them to texting, and we do take into account if someone is Spanish language. And then if there's anything else that your firm needs, you let us know and reach out. But we do send those welcome texts in Spanish. So document automation is essential. So why is that? Well, first and foremost, your law firm has better things to do than manually copying and pasting a client's name and date of loss into a letter, or copying and pasting all the defense attorneys into a caption. That takes a lot of time. Another reason it's essential is that, of course, you establish consistency across your teams, your offices. There's no typos or old material floating around because someone pulled from an old Word doc on their desktop or a closed case. Again, it's easier to train new employees. They're less likely to make a mistake, right? They just go into the case, they pick the letter, that data is entered into the case, and as they generate it, it pulls it up. And on most cases, it's either 100% done if it's a very basic letter, or even on a complex demand, it can get you 80 to 90% of the way there. And again, it's essential for scaling and growth. And it's not a coincidence here that I've capitalized the E. It's essential with a capital E. Efficiency drives profitability for contingency fee law firms. So CasePeer's automation tools are designed to save you money and make you money. Number four, litigation event plans. So, litigation event plans automate litigation events and deadlines your way. Uh, CasePeer does have integrations with calendaring tools that are rules based, but we also found that many law firms prefer to have full control over what appears on their calendar and when. So, CasePeer's built in litigation event plans allow law firms to build out their litigation events, their deadlines, and reminders and ticklers however they like. All you have to do is just create a plan, add a trigger event like a trial date, and then add your rules from there. So, CasePeer has all the options you need, including types of days to count or what to do about weekends and holidays when you're building those plans out. And the best part is you can set who on the case should be assigned to the event. So when you go in and you activate a litigation event plan from a client's case, it will automatically generate the calendar events for the attorney and paralegals assigned to that particular file. And the plans can be as simple or as complex as you like. I know some people like 5 reminders for every upcoming deadline, and there's nothing wrong with that. So here we can see our litigation management screen. So not only do litigation events show up on the calendar and your external calendar if you sync it with CasePeer, but they also aggregate on our litigation management screen. Firms use this screen during weekly or monthly litigation reviews to see clearly what's coming and who's responsible. Imagine coming in here and being able to filter just on trials and seeing all of your upcoming trial dates. This brings up the question for me always, are you proactive or reactive? And this is tied to tasks as well. It's not specific to litigation events, but of course, litigation events, it always has a lot more pressure for firms. Be honest, most law firms are reactive. They're always reacting to things as they come up. It's really difficult for attorneys and staff to be as efficient and effective as they could be if they're living in that reactive state. And ultimately, that can affect your client outcomes. So, want to be more proactive? It's not just as easy as planning further ahead, right? You really do want the right systems in place to support that. Why is it so important to assess this about your firm honestly? Well, it's because reactive work culture is usually pretty high stress and it leads to high right? Certainly possibility of mistakes being made. And when it comes to meeting litigation deadlines, when it comes to meeting litigation deadlines, law firms can't make mistakes. That brings us to our Zapier integration, which I'm very excited to talk about. So, this is an integration that powers thousands of other integrations. How many people are familiar with Zapier? Anybody? So Zapier likes to call itself easy automation for busy people. It's a no code tool or no code site that allows you to connect CasePeer to your other favorite applications. And of course, connections between your other applications that don't touch CasePeer at all. It's no coding required. So you go in and there's these things called zaps, which are essentially building blocks that you can piece together to trigger different actions. And the cool thing is too is the ecosystem of apps, excuse me, is always growing. So, how are law firms using Zapier? I get this question a lot, and it's something I like because the options are limitless. But there's some really cool use cases that our firms are doing right now. So, first of all, law firms might want to trigger emails based on case status changes in CasePeer. They might want to send a prospective new client information about your firm as their case is created, or they might want to email someone on the team when a client sends a text into CasePeer. Or maybe you want to send an alert to your intake attorneys when a new lead comes in. So those are just a couple examples, and you can see here that we integrate with. It allows you to connect to Gmail, to Outlook, to MailChimp, to Constant Contact. And these are just four that I picked out that most law firms are probably going to be familiar with or might be implementing. Another way that law firms are using this Zapier integration is that they're pushing leads into CasePeer. So, tracking leads and connecting with them quickly is obviously very important for personal injury law firms. And most firms have many different ways that those leads come in, including website forms and chatbots, Facebook forms, and so much more. So, CasePeer has native integrations with specific lead creation tools, but having these integrations just opens it up to all the other amazing ways that you're bringing clients into your firm. So, a couple ones that you might be familiar with is Gravity Forms or Woodpecker, which allows you to embed forms on your website. It has Facebook Leads and Google Forms, just to name a few. And another way law firms are using this is generating chats, right? Like all companies, most law firms are now using chat applications for internal communication. So, at CasePeer, we use Slack. With Zapier, key activity in CasePeer can automate messages to individuals, groups, or channels, depending on the app that you guys use. So, for example, you could send a message to an incoming texts Slack channel whenever a new client texts come in. Or you could send your accountant a message when the case is changed to disbursement. Or you could send a message with the case URL to your litigation group chat when a case is changed to litigation review. So again, I pulled out a couple chat applications you might be familiar with: Slack, Teams, Google Chat, or Discord, depending on what you might be implementing at your firm. Hardworking doesn't mean that you're productive. Every single one of you that are here today works very hard. I have zero doubt of that. So, just because you and your team work hard doesn't mean you're productive at your full potential. Imagine what you would do if you just had an extra hour in every day. So, for contingency firm law firms, especially, every inefficiency costs money. Inefficient insurance defense attorneys, they're going to bill their client for every single minute they waste. We founded CasePeer to help law firms like yours grow and be successful because when you succeed, your clients win. So in terms of Zapier, there is you do have an account that you can build out with Zapier. I'm pulling questions. There's a question if there's an extra fee. There isn't a fee for the integration itself or for the Zaps that we're constantly rolling out and enhancing, but Zapier itself is an extra tool. I know there's some free levels, but I think to do some of the really cool stuff, there are some add-on costs there. All right. If there's any other questions, go ahead and drop those into comments or questions. Even if you think of it later, we'll be happy to circle around. So that's a wrap on our top favorite automation CASEpeer features, and these are just five of the reasons that our personal injury law firms love using us. You can also hear more from our clients on in our case studies on our website. So I encourage you guys to go check that out. So, thank you all for joining us today. When you enhance your customer journey from intake to settlement, streamline your workflows, and optimize your business management, you're going to set your law firm up for long-term success. So, if you'd like to learn more about CasePeer, book a time to talk to one of our experts in the link in chat. And I can't wait to be here again with you all next time. Thank you so much for joining us.